Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, episode 132, around the campfire at Horse Gulch Campground with a bunch of our friends and fans and patrons of the podcast.
Heck
Chris,
yeah.
how you doing?
I'm really good.
How's that for an opener?
That was loud
It's hot.
and exciting.
Hot.
Hot. Well, this campfire is pretty epic.
It's what is it? It's not even 4 o'clock yet, and we got a raging campfire going here at this open campground. So we have none other than Lady Samurai here.
Hello.
And we have Samurai James.
Yeah.
How's it going?
And the JL Latte Machine himself, Hot Rod.
Howdy, y'all.
How you doing?
Good.
So we came up here to tackle some more trees from our adopted trail.
That's right.
And got up here and got all geared up with the saws, fueled up, headed out onto the trail. And we got stopped immediately where all the trees were.
Why?
You know what happened?
Loggers.
The logging company was up here, and it was very fortuitous because had we come up a couple weeks earlier, we would have been cutting through trees that they were going to mow through in about 2 days.
10 seconds.
Yeah, and there's no way we could have gotten through it. So we ended up diverting and going down another spur that we haven't been able to clear in a couple years.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting into some pretty big timber down there.
Really big timber.
Yeah, and we had our brand new Stihl 500i chainsaw, and let me tell you, that thing's fuel injected, and it's probably got more power than that Samurai, huh? What do you think?
It's got to be close, but I'll tell you what, I think Alter 4 Jones would be pretty proud.
Oh yeah, he definitely would have been jelly, man. That thing was impressive.
Same carburetor, though, right?
Same carburetor, yeah, same carburetor. But man, it was a thing fired right off and just plowed through this timber, man. It was
Ready to work.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. So we started
Unlike
cutting and
Jason's
hauling, cutting and hauling, and then go around the quarter more. I mean, we worked all day long clearing stuff. And then one of the last trees was a monster.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, go ahead. We got some good winching exercises in, and so James, we got started, and then James and Rhonda showed up, and Kelly, and that was right when we started getting into some big stuff. Our first tree, there was a diversion on the trail, and it was a tree that was totally rotten that was right in the middle of the trail, laying parallel with the trail, not perpendicular. And so we tackled that, and we spent a good hour and a half there, and the tree just falling apart. There was like a couple, 4 or 5 good chunks we could get out of it, and then the rest of it just disintegrated. So, but we were able to open up the main trail, and that's always our goal, is to get back on the main trail as much as possible. So,
What's the name of that trail?
Well, it's a spur off of, from Hunter's Camp, we call it, that goes down, and it goes into Mattley Meadow,
Right.
actually. So,
But this is what it's all about, right? Jason, Chris, is about keeping trails open.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
About packing in and packing out.
Let's backtrack a little bit and talk about it, because I know we covered it quite a bit in the early episode earlier this year from our spring adopted trail that was, it was overwhelming, I guess.
150 plus trees.
So this is the redo to come back. And, I mean, after the fire
Did you just have a stroke?
I did. Maybe.
Sounded French to me.
But, so what's the adopted trail, and why do we do what we do? Well, we want to make sure that the trails are open and properly used so people can, recreators in their vehicles, whether they're Jeeps or Toyotas or Samurais or side-by-sides or motorcycles.
Golf carts up here, yeah.
Golf carts are able to use the correct trail and not bypasses and reroutes. So, which is what happens in the early part of the season when the trail is
snow belts off and it's just starting to open.
Right. A lot of people don't carry chainsaws, or they just don't care. And we get it. And they want to get through, so they're going to just drive wherever they can to get through the trail. Well, that is severely frowned upon by the Forest Service and environmentalists, of course. So what we do and what a lot of other clubs like ours do is basically, well, it's in the name, adopt a trail. And then we go through in the spring and we make sure it's open and safe and clear for use by the general public.
Yep.
And I feel very fortunate to be invited to this Adopt a Trail in the spring when we did all the sawing and cutting and moving.
Right.
And it affords everyone a place to recreate and to enjoy what they want to do in their off-roading adventures.
I would have to agree with that 100%, Rodney, and I would also like to add that, we're pretty fortunate. We fell in with a really amazing group out of the gate, but if you guys are new and you're out there and just want to get out there, look up your local clubs. They would be all too happy to have you.
Absolutely.
And, get out there, have some fun. And, we come out here and, we talk about moving 150 trees, but, as crazy as that day was, we all still absolutely had a blast.
Oh, it was fun.
And, you get in with the right group, 6, 10, 12 people out there just having a good old time. There's so much to learn, so much to do, and, you'll be laughing the whole time. So, it's not really working out here in the forest.
Hands made for light work. Work hard, play hard.
Well, and there's
always food and beverage at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's right.
You do a pretty good camp, but it's you can't just go out there willy nilly. One is contact your Forest Service, in your area and see what trails are available. I mean, you can always go out and pick up garbage and stuff, but they can help direct you to areas that they need help in.
Exactly.
But the other thing, too, is there's a huge safety factor involved here. I mean, chainsaw is one of the most dangerous things known to man.
For sure.
Are they?
Next to a wood chipper. But, yeah, it's, having people that understand safely how to use the saw, and then it not only after you cut the log is how do you move it safely without putting a lot of stress on you or the rig or, things that are... There's a lot of factors going on out there, especially if you got some snags that are hanging up high.
Oh yeah,
things go bad in a hurry. So we're very calculated on how we go about going through this trail and not just whipping out saws like Jason from the Halloween movie and blasting through stuff.
For sure, Jason. I treat this. Yes, I get
Got the
Jason
reference?
and Jason. I get the reference,
Nice.
but yeah, I take extra precaution when I'm up here doing an Adopt a Trail and using safety gear more so than I do on my own property at home because I live near here and I have acreage and I clear trees, but when you're not around an ambulance that can come pick you up or a phone call or cell service,
Right.
you have to take extra precautions. So
absolutely.
that's something that that the club actually affords with a satellite cell phone and such, and it's appreciated.
Yeah.
Most definitely. So take extra precaution when you're out doing this type of
Our
work.
club actually has a satellite phone. Is it here right now?
Yeah. Well, no, CJ's got it.
Oh, see,
Well, CJ's back at his cabin.
We'll cover that in a little bit.
But CJ was with us. CJ was with us yesterday, and we had to do some interesting winching setups. I would say one of the key things, and we've talked about it before. I know with Tyler and stuff when we were, log rolling is like how do you set up the log so that it's easy to move
Right.
After you cut it. And, you limb the thing so the thing will roll, hopefully. And then you set up your toe strap so it's wrapped around. And then you orientate it so at the top of the log is where you're pulling that strap from. And so as you pull the strap, it's unrolling, it's causing the log to roll.
Correct.
And so you're not just putting a choker hold on the log. And sometimes we do that too when we just want to drag
Well, it's just a
something
dead
easily.
drag, yeah,
But
right.
when we have to move some big stuff, some big timber that's 3-4 foot plus in diameter, we set up our full toe strap, 30 plus foot toe strap wrapping around it. And then so as you pull it, unrolls it.
Correct.
And you're using that mechanical advantage.
Well, exactly. And I mean, this is a great exercise in learning how to, do rigging.
Exactly.
I mean, using all the tools, whether D shackles or soft shackles, toe straps, winch lines, where to stand, where not to stand, all these are great exercises it's a good controlled environment that you can get some great practice at.
Yeah, and we had one set up yesterday winching where we had 2 snatch blocks set up. So you were involved with that, James, where we came off of my buggy, went to one tree snatch block, and then it redirected 90 degrees to the right from my vantage point sitting in the driver's seat to another snatch block in a tree that redirected it back 90 degrees back, parallel with me basically, but down the trail a ways. And that was a pretty interesting rigging right there.
Yeah, that was a good kind of little bit of a complicated one, but just like the technique Jason was talking about, we were wanting this log to roll, and it was a, I would say easy 4-foot log.
Yeah.
And so, some of us call it the sushi roll, but, through that, it took, 2-3 guys to, for communication. So your communication's got to be, really, really great, because Jason, he cannot see me, and, I can't see him. So we have one guy in the middle.
Right.
Kind of, I would direct the guy in the middle. He would relay the message to Jason on when to pull and whatnot. But, it was good to be able to get that thing to roll off the trail in the direction that we were wanting it to go. Exactly.
And it was pretty impressive, some of the stuff we moved yesterday. There was one point, and this is a 12,000-pound, Schmitty-built winch, shitty-built winch, and I was waiting for it to come flying off the front of the buggy.
Well, you beating on that winch like a redheaded stepchild over the years.
And there was a couple loud pops, and I thought it popped a bolt or something. It must have been the actual synthetic line that was tightening up and binding on itself. But holy smokes, there was a couple times, and CJ's like, pull more, and I'm like, no, I know. No.
Yeah, you beat that winch like a racing up Toyota.
Yeah, and then we
yeah, sometimes the optics give away more so than the mechanical advantage of the rope, right? You sometimes you just see that thing is going to break, and you just abandon.
Well, it's common sense. I mean, or preservation of life.
Preservation. So I keep my head behind the roll bar of some sort. So if something does come snapping back, even though it's a synthetic rope, but it could carry one of the snatch blocks with it, or one of the, we had metal D-rings, we had soft shackles, we had everything used yesterday. I mean, we used a ton of gear. And I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun because you get to, you got a great sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. But setting up some of this stuff, and of course we tried a couple things that didn't work, and we had to, go back to the drawing board. But that's part of the fun, is figuring it all out and getting through there. Teamwork makes the dream work. And so it was. I was real disappointed when we first started in the morning, and it's like, oh, we're not going to be able. But then I thought, well, we don't have to work our asses off either to move all those trees. But then it ended up being a busy day. So it was a very, very nice day. And then right at the end, we got to the one of the main forest roads that access back to our 7 and 09 back to camp, and there was a tree across that trail, so we still weren't done yet. And then we hit some snow. It was real light, easy to get through. I mean, we didn't get back to camp till 3:30, 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock it was, I think.
Right on.
Yeah, that sounds pretty close. I think it's somewhere around 20 trees or so.
20 trees.
I think it was.
Yeah. There was somewhere around 20 trees, I would say, is a good number. We'll go with that. And that was, 16 more than I thought we were going to come across.
Right.
But it was good to get that spur open and a nice work day. So that enabled us a free play day.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't want to jump ahead unless somebody's got something else about recovery.
I just want to kind of recycle for a second here and get some clarity. So Jason and a few other people arrived here at the campground that we utilized in off of 7 and 09 on Thursday night. So they were able to work Friday. And unfortunately, I was not able to get off of my new job to come up here to help out until Friday evening. I drove up, but I arrived into an empty camp, and then Latte Rodney showed up a little bit later. But I mean, basically the news came through when they arrived back from dinner that today or Saturday was going to be a play day. All the trails were clear.
we had it set that we were going to go to the lube room, the local watering hole down the street here. It's about I say down the street. It's a half an hour, 40 minutes from camp, going back into the town of. Is that Dorrington or is that
Camp Connell?
Is it Camp Connell, Dorrington?
Yeah.
So just above Arnold there on Highway 4, if you're familiar with California. So we were heading out, Rode in James and Rhonda's truck, and then Kelly had his Suburban, and we were heading out, and Chris was just coming in. And I told you that we were going to go to dinner between 5 and 6, and it was shortly after 5 o'clock we were heading down there. But did we go back and get him? I said, no, he knows. And we went and had a killer burger and, the stew.
The stew was amazing.
Lube stew or lube stew or something they
lube
called it.
stew or something.
Yeah, it was good. That was
beef stew?
Yeah, it was a beef stew that you could you could eat with a fork, and it would stand up in it. I mean, I like good hearty soups like that.
Yeah, that'll fill you up.
Yeah.
Nothing better.
Yeah, and so that was a great vibe down there. Super cool. A lot of memorabilia and cool stuff hanging on the walls. Yeah, we were
a lot of rustic, lodge type deal.
Yeah,
and it was just amazingly done.
So we were walking around looking at all the stuff up on the wall. Mount Everest. One of the guys climbed Mount Everest and had his oxygen bottle there on the wall, and the spikes that go on the bottom of your boots and. And of course, there's a bunch of skiing stuff in there, being close here to Bear Valley Ski Resort, and the clampers had a whole wall.
That was
stuff
cool.
on there too. So if you don't know what the clampers are, you should know.
If you know, you
look
know.
them up. Yeah, if you know, you know. So very, very cool vibe there. Then there was a birthday party going on, 40th birthday party in the back room.
Nice.
There, yeah. But anyway, so we were at dinner and we go, okay, what's the over-under on if Chris is going to have a fire going by the time we get back?
Oh.
And
this is good.
I stuck up for you. I go, he is going to have a fire. He's going to have a fire when we get back to camp. And there was some people that said, no, he's going to be in his camper drinking.
What? There were people...
Dude, I don't drink alone.
They were betting the under on Chris?
I don't drink alone.
know?
Fortunately, Rodney showed up, so I wasn't drinking alone.
I was texting with Chris on the way up here, and I just said, dude, I'm 30 minutes behind you. So.
And you were pretty close.
Yeah,
I mean, it was,
right on.
I pulled into camp here. It was pitch black. I mean, there's no lights running. Nobody left a camper
Well, it was a
light
full
on.
moon, though.
Yeah.
I got to see the full,
yeah.
It was a
full
full
moon
moon.
coming
Waning
up.
moon or
It
whatever.
was beautiful.
I pulled in here and I got my camper leveled up, and then I was like, okay, I got to make dinner, and then I said, what am I going to drink? I started with a cold beer, and then I think Rodney's like, hey, how about some bourbon? And so we started.
How about some Woodford Reserve?
you had
Woodford Reserve.
Woodfords.
Oh, so good
Had
with
some
a couple
select-
rocks.
Hey, I'm missing the bourbon in this cold weather.
Yep. So anyway, it got the
Antifreeze.
campfire going because they had no faith. I'm really disappointed in you people.
Hey,
Seriously, I had faith. I did.
I bet it on your side.
All right.
I bet it on your side.
Okay,
I
good.
could think of
So
one guy who
bet
didn't.
who bet against me. Eddie.
Eddie.
Well, we were already
I don't hear
bagging on
anything
you
from
because there was
Kelly
no
over
Barbie
there.
Jeep behind the tow
No,
rig
I
there.
know.
Yeah.
Logistics, man.
So Barbie was gone, so they're like, "Oh, he didn't even bring the Jeep. He's not starting
Yeah.
the fire. I don't even know why he came." I
I'm
mean, there was a
interested
lot
in
of
his super
shade
hitch.
getting thrown
Yeah,
your way.
wow, a lot of hate. Well, that's
A lot of
all right.
shade, a lot of shade.
Hey, but he pulled
But I
it
stuck
out,
up
right?
for you, and you pulled it off.
He pulled it off.
You had a damn nice campfire going when we got.
Yeah,
it was
that was
good. So
and Latte Rodney and I were pretty well marinated.
yeah,
by the
you
time
guys
we-
already were lubed up. Wow.
You would have thought they went to the lube room with
Yeah,
how
no
lubed up they
kidding.
were.
Ah, so
Exactly how we planned it, right,
Right.
Chris?
exactly. And I'm going to just
Exactly.
say this: I started the fire and I ended the fire.
You did.
He did.
It got down below freezing last night.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
pretty
no, it
darn
was-
cold.
It was cold. And
So,
it's
you know.
chilly. And this camp is just kind of in this little valley, and it doesn't.
What's our elevation here?
We're
Million?
at 7,400 feet, a little over 7,400 feet.
Wow.
According to Guy. Wait, hang on. I can give you exact.
Hashtag landslide.
Hang on. Let me get Lorenzo on it. Lorenzo doesn't even
Hashtag
want to come
Mr.
out
Buddy
of
Heater's
bed.
your friend.
Mr. Buddy Heater. That's right.
Hashtag Mr. Buddy Heater.
How's your Buddy Heater, Jason?
7,480 is what we're at right now.
Is your Buddy Heater okay?
No, it's not working. But the heating blanket, the electro warmth blanket that was in our buy episode, our holiday gift guide, I got to try it for the first time Thursday night.
Uh huh.
Phenomenal.
Wow.
And last night, freaking amazing. I can't wait to see what tonight brings.
Wow. Well,
You know what it reminded me of? The analogy is like, you go to the pet stores and there's the reptiles that are sitting on one of those heated rocks.
yeah.
That's what I got to imagine. That's what that reptile feels like.
So you're like a reptile.
It was so nice.
So if
to
we, cut,
crawl
an
into
if we
bed-
cut one of your
so-
arms off, is it going to grow back?
No. So here's so last night, we're sitting by the campfire. So I walked off and you guys are all no. I'm
Yep.
like, no, I'm coming back. I just went to turn on the old heating pad there, the electric mattress pad. And so, let it go for a half an hour and I said, okay, no, I'm out. And crawled into bed.
Yeah.
So nice. So I slid.
gone.
It's a twin, and that's a queen size bed in the Lance Life there.
That's what I was noticed. I went to the
So
website.
it's just a twin,
yeah.
twin size, which is fine. And so I just snuck my foot over to the other side. It was like I stuck it in the Antarctica, the waters of the Antarctic.
Like, Christopher Walken.
Yeah,
Like the freezer.
It was cooler than Christopher
cooler.
Walken, but much cooler. It was amazing. So I went back. Oh man. Anyways, had the old thermostat set on 50 last night just to keep the chill out of the camper, and oh man, so good.
Right on. I got to say, your microphone discipline right now is pretty horrible.
What do you mean?
You keep turning away from it.
Oh, because I'm looking at you.
Oh, don't look at me.
Okay, I won't look at you anymore.
Look into the fire.
Look into the light.
I'm not wearing my headphones. That's a
I
problem.
know, right?
Tyler was like, "Oh, see, I knew you weren't wearing your headphones. You guys, 132 episodes. You should have this figured out by now."
Aren't they on like 280 and they still have difficulties?
Yeah,
having-
exactly.
You know what their problem is? They drive Toyotas.
Hey, we invited them this weekend, but they, I don't know, they had stuff going on.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, I was hoping to see a Toyota up here beside Eddie.
Well, Eddie.
Well, there is
Eddie's
one. It's right
Toyota's
over there.
here.
It's on the
behind you.
trailer. But, he bailed on trail.
Let me
That's
open
actually
up
a
my
nice
LaCroix
Toyota,
here.
though.
So,
LaCroix.
what are you drinking there, Rod?
Well, right now I have a C-, but
Oh, geez. You're waiting for the expensive wine to open.
You
yeah,
went down.
I'm waiting for Chris to break out a nice, expensive bottle of wine.
Well,
But,
I'm drinking Jack and Coke, but,
We're going Jack and Coke. I've got a LaCroix orange.
Yeah, Jason congratulations, is still on the wagon.
Day 93.
Day 93. That's
Hoorah.
awesome.
I'll tell you, it was really tempting to this is a real test right now. Sitting by a fire, cold as ass.
I think I even
Cold as-
supplied that.
Cold ass.
LaCroix.
Yeah. This is delicious.
It's beautiful.
So,
Love it out.
okay, we talked about being
Jeez.
warm and snuggly in our Lance campers, and we woke up this
No, so
morning
yeah,
to
so
a
this
nice
morning-
crisp morning. I think it was
Whoa.
28. 28.
Was it 28?
Is
I could verify that.
I'm sticking with 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was down about that low.
Yeah.
Hashtag tent life.
The tent life. Luckily, the Mr. Buddy was buddying up.
Oh yeah, it was cranking.
He
It
was
was
cranking?
cranking. I had
Okay,
that thing
good.
running for like 3 hours this morning.
Yeah,
He's the only one here with a buddy heater.
No, Kelly has
No,
one too.
I meant
How long
Wife.
does a
Oh, a real,
How long
real
does a
buddy
1
heater.
a
pound
natural
cylinder
buddy
last?
heater.
Yeah.
How long does a 1 pound cylinder last on those things?
I don't know, but I had that one going probably since about 4 a.m.
Yeah,
Lasted close to
it'll run
3
like
hours.
4 hours.
3 hours.
Right?
I can say that I switched over from the
Low.
1 pound and I hooked up my 5 pound. So hopefully I know it will go all night.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Do we have a
Yeah.
10 pound? Anybody with a 10
got-
pound, 20 pound, 20 pound,
You
30
got-
pound, 30
No,
pound?
5 pound it is.
You got to have a window crack though, and you're going to get a bunch of moisture. So just,
Oh yeah, it's a
yeah,
propane heater's wet heat.
yeah.
Wet heat. So got up this morning and slow rolled into breakfast, and then
Yeah, we had what 5 people in my camper this morning.
something like that.
Yeah,
I
6.
think Rhonda and James were drinking,
Drinking.
eating breakfast burritos.
Yeah,
they
they had
looked
some
super
nice
good.
looking burritos going,
Yeah,
and then
hell yeah.
Rodney had the best this morning though. He brought
rolling
in
up some cinnamon rolls.
hot cinnamon rolls. Oh, those were delicious.
Hashtag our pod.
I can't wait for tomorrow or Sunday morning brunch.
Forest River, baby.
What do we
Our
got
pods,
for Sunday brunch?
That's the way to go.
Bacon. Hopefully some bacon.
Mm.
Do you have the squaddle?
I have it, but I didn't.
Here comes
Hey.
Brody.
Hey,
Brody's
Brody.
jumping on Rodney back here.
Brody the dog.
I've got the squaddle, but I
Marcus
don't
Brody.
really have food for the squaddle right now. I thought this was going to be a work trip,
Right.
And it kind of turned into a camping trip, and so
which is a big difference.
Well, we were going to
I
camp
know.
anyway.
I got pre-made food, and I'll just heat it up in my oven.
Yeah,
Right
exactly.
on,
We're just
exactly.
doing easy stuff, and wasn't planning on sitting around the campfire and day, which is great.
No,
It's been nice.
absolutely.
So go on.
So
Sorry,
yeah,
we're
we
jumping ahead
were
here.
like I said last night, I was like, oh, we're done with trail. We cleared it. The trails are
Chris,
open. I'm
good
like,
thing I didn't bring my Jeep.
I didn't bring my Jeep. So anyway, they said we're going to run trail tomorrow. So we did. We sort of did Slick Rock today, and which is a fun trail. I haven't been on Slick Rock since the reroute.
Oh,
was
you
done.
haven't?
No, this is my first view of it.
Oh my God, what'd you think?
Dude, that reroute is legit.
Because usually when reroutes happen, it was on some private property, or I don't know how it all changed, but the beginning of the trail was just basically a dirt road and nothing super fancy.
Right.
And usually when they do reroutes, it gets, boring or weak, or, it's not going to be better. This one is better. There's some legit rock piles to climb over.
Oh my God!
Granted.
Yeah, it gets your attention right out of the hole. I wish I had my Jeep, because I was like, holy shit, this is real. I wrote right seat and with latte
JL
Rodney.
latte.
And I do want to say that
there it
I'm
is.
still waiting for my goddamn latte. But whatever.
James and Rhonda, it was your first time seeing the trail. What'd you think?
I thought it was awesome, especially that first obstacle, the post pile.
Yeah.
Definitely got the heart pumping. That was an awesome obstacle.
So they had a sign there. I didn't notice it because I walked as soon as we got to that first section. I like to walk, and I wanted to get some videos and everything. And when I was walking back out, I saw the sign there because there's an easy way to the right. So you just totally just go Forest Road, or you can go
Bypass.
over the rock pile.
Yeah.
And so it said Overlanders left on the easy way. Somebody had
right.
handwritten
Oh,
that
that's
in there.
awesome.
Rooftop tents this way.
There's some legit off camber stuff going on those those first three obstacles. You got like I said, what's that called? The rock piles.
Yeah.
The very first thing. I mean,
Post pile.
Post pile. You climb that thing, and then you make that left turn, and then you curl around into that. I don't know what the hell you call that thing, but there's a gnarly line, and then there's a less gnarly line.
There's 4 lines there, 4 burned-in lines,
Yeah.
and then there's a couple that are gnarly. Now, you can't really technically have a buggy in there because it's a highway.
It's a
legal,
road.
So I left the buggy back, but there is some stuff that I could have some fun on with the buggy.
Oh hell yeah!
It's actually really a service road, right?
Well,
Well, there are actually sections of that road that actually have asphalt on it.
well, it used to be.
Back
It's
in
like
the
And
most
day.
trails.
concrete too.
Yeah.
Concrete. Some of the areas of the slabs are concreted, so
right.
it's
And just
smoother.
past the slabs, there's just before you drop down to where the river or creek crossing is
Yes.
before the stair steps.
Yes.
There's actually some asphalt down there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, to see that reroute, to see the post pile, and I'm like, God damn, I really wish I had brought my Jeep. But logistically, that's a whole other story. But with the whole new job thing, but whatever. I am now anxious to get my Jeep up here and play on that stuff, because I think I'd have a lot of fun.
There's some good sections, yes.
But there's 3 legit obstacles that are in that reroute. The second one has some serious that V-notch and the off camber
Yep.
section.
Very tight.
Crazy.
TIT
and,
tight.
And when you're in a 4-door JL latte machine,
Don't complain.
I'm not complaining. I'm sitting here in the passenger seat while you're navigating down. Jason was spotting you,
I've got
and
dents.
I'm like, damn, that fender is not looking like it's going to be a happy camper pretty quick.
Yeah.
So, but fortunately, Jason, being the PRO professional that he is, backed you up and got you back on track and got
Well,
you
I
through
threw
it.
a couple rocks there in a little
Right.
hole just in case you went into it. If you slid, you would have hit the rocks and kept you from taking out your passenger fender.
we call that DOT work.
DOT work, yes,
Yes,
yeah. It
Department of
was.
Transportation.
I ran out of yellow paint though to make the stripe down the center, but we're good. But no, you navigated that one really well, and good. Once we got you online, man, it just walked right through.
Wheeling with Chris sometimes is like wheeling with your mom, I think.
What?
Dude, he's like, "Oh, go wider, honey." Go
you actually
wider.
say
You're
honey?
gonna catch your
Really? I never said
rear
honey.
wheel.
Hey, you know what? Most of the
did
time, I
not
keep
say
my
the
mouth
word
shut.
honey.
I keep my mouth shut. Let's refer back to episode whatever it was when I was with Eric Wicks, and he's like, "What do you want to do?" I said, "It's your rig. Do whatever you want, Eric."
Send it.
Well, that's because you were with a professional
A
driver.
PRO professional.
You know, I don't.
Anyway.
you think I'm a professional?
Well, no, you're not.
but you were subconsciously sending out, send it.
Just send it.
Yeah, I just
You're gonna
wanted.
send it.
I just
I know
wanted
you're
to
gonna
mash it and make him poop his pants. or something.
So we had 4 rigs that
Sorry,
went
these
out.
guys depends on.
We had 4 rigs that went out. We had the Samurai.
4?
We had Kelly.
Yep.
And his
Scrambler.
Scrambler. And then we had Latte Rodney, and of course we had CJ with a CJ. And what happened with CJ with a CJ?
Well, we got to the last hard section going in. It's called the Gauntlet, I guess. I think they call that the hill.
No, the gauntlet is the very beginning.
Oh, is it? So what's
Yeah.
the hill
I
called?
thought that
I
was
thought
the
that was
rock.
Gauntlet.
I thought that was the
So what's the hill called? I don't know. It's a good.
It's just a nice hill with a bunch of rocks.
Yeah, so there's
and a
there-
bypass.
Who
There
keeps putting
never
all these
used to
damn
be a
rocks in the
bypass
trail?
there, so there's a nice bypass now that's totally doable with pretty much any rig.
But we don't really do bypasses.
But so CJ takes the hard line down, which was really dug out, and mind
gnarly.
you, there was 2 feet of snow on this trail, probably 3 feet of snow a few weeks ago. The good old California weather, it delivered a nice big storm and then got warm and everything melted. So, but it was wet. And so CJ came down, I was filming, and he slid off this rock and just slammed down. His frame rail actually hit this one boulder, and it jarred the radiator and electric fan so hard that the electric fan went into the radiator.
Whoops.
Lost a couple fins.
Lost
a couple plastic fins, yeah.
three fan blades, and then of course the radiator was dripping, and it was like, oh man. So, we go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so we got him turned around. There was like this little plateau in the center of the hill that was pretty level, and got him turned around and a good place to work on it. And we said, okay, let's pull the radiator and bend over the fins and the
on
tubes
one of
there.
the cores.
Yeah, one. It's like a
three core
right?
radiator.
So we get the radiator out pretty quickly, get it on the ground, and I had seen where the water was leaking, so said, okay, we're going to cut these 3 or 4 rows and bend them over. And James had never seen that before, huh?
No, that was awesome. It was a really cool trail fix, and I can't lie, I get a little grumpy when it's my rig because I never want to be that guy.
I
But
want to be that guy.
But now that it was somebody else's rig, it was awesome to jump in there and learn something new.
Sure.
Jason was out there putting on a clinic.
Come to my seminar.
Yeah, school was in session. Breaking out the notepads and.
I didn't see any potato chips or pepper get broken.
No, so that was it. So that's a very common problem off road, and I carry in the buggy and in the Jeep. The radiator sealant, the Aluma seal they call it.
Aluma seal,
So it's a powder that goes in that's in the size, this vial that's, like 2 inches by, 3/4 of an inch tube.
It doesn't take
It
much.
doesn't take much, and so you dump that into the radiator and it'll find the holes and seal it. And the stuff works great. And it actually is supposed to add some lubricity for your water pump and stuff. So it's not supposed to be bad for your engine block or anything, but
Lubricity, that's a big word.
it is a big word. We talked about lubricity before.
Coffee grounds really don't work. do
No,
they?
coffee
'Cause
grounds don't work
The
too
latte
well.
machine could have
You see,
supplied plenty
you had
of
some high
I
end.
had some used coffee grounds that we.
I was
could-
looking for pepper. I've used pepper before that works.
eggs.
Yeah, eggs. We didn't have any of that. So I was surprised out of our rigs that nobody had that.
Well, we were base camping. We weren't.
I understand, but that's stuff that's just in your rig, and especially CJ's rig that has a ton of stuff. I mean,
There's
he has a ton
everything in that
of
rig.
stuff in there.
Yes.
And
And
he
he's
had
an-
a
he's
half
an
gallon.
experienced
He
wheeler.
had a half gallon of antifreeze, like antifreeze.
That's a gallon.
Not just water or a gallon. You're right. It was a gallon.
Yeah, no.
So
I
I'm
mean,
like, what?
So, but again, teamwork got the rig back to the trailhead and on a trailer, and my hat's off to James for offering up his trailer to drive it back down to CJ's rig down the hill, and then
for sure.
very cool.
So-
That's awesome.
So going back to that repair, though, I mean, with those pinched off and with the Aluma seal, it should have sealed, but it was leaking still a little bit.
Yeah,
And I was like, damn, we need something, to put it in there. But we weren't that far from the trailhead. So it was like, okay, let's put this thing back together. Now, putting this thing back together was not easy because it still had the original clips. Anybody that's worked on an old CJ, there's just these little those clips that go in on the sheet metal so you can put your bolt through, because there's no way you can get your fingers in to put a nut behind this thing,
Right.
Well, we got it from a flow to a drip.
We did.
Right? By doing that, I mean, it was still
Exactly.
leaking. We couldn't pressure test it and put it back in the rig and know that we got it all secure. We kind of had to guess, and we guessed 3 more rows of the radiator to seal off and pinch.
Right. You're ready to say something, James. Go ahead. Oh, so I we got the radiator back in, which was no small feat, because you got to get everything lined up just right. And, it's one thing when you're in your garage with the tunes cranking and a couple frosty ones, but when you're out on the trail and it's cold and you don't have every tool that you possibly need at times, or Alumaseal, it was like, okay.
Or potato chips.
But, yeah, or chips. So I have repaired. Yeah, that was the best radiator repair, was going into Meadow Lake and a snowcat that fan went completely obliterated the radiator, and we used wheel weights that we melted with a torch. So lead melted at a lower temperature, and we were able to solder some stuff in, some lead in, and then that radiator was maybe at 20% capacity by the time we got done with it. We put Fritos in there, ground up Fritos, anything we could to just clog it up, and we got it good enough so we could drive back out. And it worked. But
there you go.
Yeah. But anyway, so got him going, got him back out to the trailhead, and James and Rhonda trailered the rig up there, so we had a truck and trailer, and.
Yep.
Unfortunately, as soon as CJ went about 150 feet, the other fan went into the radiator.
Yeah.
It's always something, isn't it?
So it's like, what the heck?
So in this trip, CJ was that guy.
Yeah, he was that guy, and needless to say, he needs a whole new radiator now, because we did a number on it. It had been epoxied. It had been, and I told CJ, I'm like, dude, because it was already worked on before.
It'd been soldered.
It'd been soldered, and a lot of the fins.
It
were
had
messed
wear
up.
marks from the previous.
Wear marks from before. I'm like,
fan
hey, this
got into
this.
it,
This
so.
did you a service to get you a new radiator.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny because he spent tons of money on driveline.
Oh, the drivetrain, yeah,
and whatnot, and it's just why?
well,
why
if
did
it was
you-
working, it's working.
I guess whatever. You
Right?
don't-
CJ's not even here to defend himself.
I
We're
know,
just throwing
well-
him under
Well,
the
he
bus
doesn't
right
have
now.
Chris money either,
No,
so
that's
he can't
true. We
just
gotta
buy
have
the
Chris
whole
money.
thing at
Oh,
once.
please.
Get a
He
He's
little
like
bit
the
of
rest of
radiator.
us,
He has
blue collar
5
guys.
row
See,
aluminum radiator.
He has CJ money. Trust me
Griffin.
on this. Anyway, so yeah, but again, this highlights the camaraderie of the off-road community, rallying together to make sure people are not left on the trail. And, that's just the coolness of it.
And he felt so bad. He's like, "Dude, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, this is actually fun.
I had a blast for a change.
It's like, hey, this is actually
Not
cool.
me.
My rig's not here. I'm fine. We got right in there and started spinning wrenches and getting things. We had it apart in no time and back together pretty quickly. And
I was amazed at how fast that radiator was pulling.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Well,
like, damn.
I mean, knowing CJ's inside and out like I do, it was the same as mine. So I'm like, okay, we know exactly what we need to get this out. So it was good. But so we got back out to the trailer, and it was right around noon, right?
Something like
Ish.
that.
Yeah, 12:30. So we're like, okay, what do we do? Do we go back in? Do we go back to camp? Do we? And then James had to take CJ back to the cabin that they have down by Dorrington. So he took them back. Well, then that left the Samurai on the hill stranded there.
Yeah,
So,
which we didn't want to leave Rhonda.
yeah, we weren't going to leave Rhonda up there, the Samurai, by herself. So we're like, okay, we'll just wait till you come back. And then Kelly had a bright idea. Kelly needs a microphone. We'll have to introduce Kelly here. It won't reach, unfortunately. But Kelly's sitting across from us. He's like half asleep. But he said, hey, we could do Corral Hollow Trail back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's one of our adopted trails, too.
That's what the Grand
And
Annex.
it's a fun trail.
Yep.
And that would take us right back to 7909, right near camp.
About 3 miles away.
Yep.
Yep.
And so that's what Kelly and Rhonda did. And the latte machine, unfortunately, just headed straight back to camp.
Well, we aired up too much, I think.
You were too much because it's so hard.
Dude,
to put
you
the
had
air
that
back
power
in.
tank. You aired
So
up
hard
in
to put the air back in.
34 seconds. I counted it.
Let the air out.
You know, with the official power tank and the Morphlate, it goes so quickly.
Yeah.
I was already at 34 pounds when the idea came up that we should take Corral Hollow back for a scenic tour.
Scenic tour.
Now, mind you, the Morphlate was still hooked up, wasn't it? So you could have just unplugged it from the CO2
Technically,
tank.
no, because Chris undid the driver real well.
But it's
So it had 3 tires out of the 4.
three out of
we
the
could air
4,
down
but-
3. Anyway,
I could have reversed the
first world problems
switch. And
so how did Corral Hollow
Yeah,
work
so
out
let's
for
hear
you,
about
Rhonda?
All I'm
Follow.
hearing is excuses from the.
No, it's not an excuse. It was, I knew there was a fire and beverages waiting
That's
back
right.
at the camp.
But there wasn't.
And to
Yeah,
be surrounded
but there
by
wasn't.
Chris and Jason, I knew we'd be having fun. Anyway.
Eddie was supposed to have the fire lit by 1 p.m. We told him we'd be back by 1, and he called BS. And we got back to camp. There was no fire, and Eddie was nowhere to be found.
Did you not know that Eddie would be taking a nap?
No.
Dude, I think I called it.
You did?
Yeah.
I think I said he was going to be napping.
He was napping.
So anyway, but we just completely overrided
Throw
with
Eddie
poor
under the
Rhonda
bus.
over here. Kelly.
Anyway, yes, Kelly's idea was great, and I definitely appreciate him, willing to go with me on Corral Hollow to get me back. And the trail was great. We ran into a little mud that we weren't necessarily expecting.
Yeah,
but
you
there
guys
was
came
some-
back muddy.
Yeah,
a
there
little
was-
mudding.
Especially that first side of the trail. There was some really good mud holes, and made it a lot of fun going through those. But other than that, we just motored through. Both rigs did great. Stopped at the Bear Trap Cabin. Said hi to people who was camping there and just made it all the way back. But beautiful trail. The scenic views out there are just amazing as always. And
Any snow up near the top?
not on the trail. There was patches on the side, but nothing major.
Man, who was the freaking frog that just blew up over there?
Where's your manners, Rodney?
Jesus Christ. He burped into my microphone? You're cut off.
Oh, man.
Sober Jason's terrible.
Carbonation.
Right on, Rhonda. Well, that's super
Carbonation
cool.
I'm not used to.
Kelly, you want to
No
yell
carbonation
anything?
and bourbon.
Any input from Kelly on the trail ride on Corral
All right,
Hollow?
I'm good.
The
we
trail
go.
ride was great. This is Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Hey, it's good to see everybody.
Hey, Kelly's here.
That was great. Rhonda did wonderful. That trail, sometimes, especially in the shoulder seasons, is really, really a mess. We've been out there when there's 4 feet of snow, trying to put a tire back on the Unimog that blew a bead.
Ooh.
We've had to dig Sherry's CJ out of
Oh, that's
like
right.
5 foot deep mud
yeah.
puddle full of slush at the entire time. She doesn't have a detachment point on the rear for real. And so I was really happy that we were just able to gear down and spin the tires and keep on going.
Light the fires.
Yeah, we had a great time. So thank you very much, Rhonda, for taking us, Lady Samurai, taking us, being a co-driver out there on the trail and having a good time.
Cool.
So Kelly, are these trails open at this time of the year? Because normally we're under a little bit of snowpack up here.
So the guys at the Bear Trap cabin that we saw said usually November 30th is when they see the gate start to close, and the barricades go up right off of 7 and 09 to get onto that end of the trail. And the same thing, they don't maintain it at all down at the Alpine County line, so you're stuck. You're not going to get in there because it piles up there real fast.
Snow.
Right.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about Bear Trap Cabin. I know we've talked in various episodes about the cabin and going to it and visiting it and whatnot. But what exactly is the story about Bear Trap? Do you know the history of that, Jason?
It is a Forest Service run, I guess, cabin. It's first come, first served. There's no reservations or anything. And I know snowmobilers, I've been to it in the wintertime, snowmobiling to it. So it's open year-round, and it is a rustic cabin out in the middle of this meadow. And it's nice, and people have done some improvements to it over the years.
Yeah.
And there's, usually cans of chili and soup and stuff in there, and non-perishable stuff.
Crisco oil.
And,
There's some liquor in there too.
And then there's some random liquor bottles at times. There's
Jack Daniels and some
there's
rum.
there's a
Yeah.
wood burning stove, and some wood and water. People usually leave a lot of water in there, so it's a. Especially in the winter, it's a good warming hut. Or if you get caught in a storm or something and need to get out of the weather and into some shelter,
It could be a lifesaver.
Exactly. But in the summertime, it's just a cool little place to hang out. I've never spent the night there, but I've always visited it. You stop in and there's a little guest book you can sign, and and when we do our adopted trail, we fill it out and say, okay, so-and-so, our whole group here doing the adopted trail and clearing the trail. We cleared 14 trees and enjoyed the year. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's cool.
Well, I believe on my Instagram page, it's my cover photo, and it's of Chris going in the bear trapper cabin.
Oh, there you go.
Well, there you go.
we have
Did I come out? Apparently I did.
Yeah, you
We did.
did.
We went in there. We actually went upstairs. There's a second level
Yeah.
to it with
Some mattresses.
some
beds.
I don't know if
some
I would sleep on
cots
them.
up there.
I guess
and-
if I was really tired, I would, but
Yeah, I don't know about
Yeah.
that. But
Don't know what kind
if
of-
you're- if
so
you're-
not
sure
really
beats the
first come
snow.
first
That's
serve
true.
as a group, but
It's
also
life or
an
death.
individual. You could probably show up there and
Yeah.
make some friends and
Yeah, absolutely.
have a
I
warm
mean,
place to stay overnight.
right.
I will say that when I looked at I went to there's a outhouse part of Bear Trap Cabin.
It's kind of a long ways away.
It is a ways
It's a little
away.
bit of a hike, but I know the door was missing the last time I was out there.
Oh yeah.
This is in need of repair, but I guess if you want to have the view while you're doing your business, it's whatever.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, so cool.
So that's Bear Trap Cabin.
Bear
So
Trap-
that's cool that Kelly and Rhonda did that trail, and like James was saying, he goes, "Hey, Rhonda's just totally solo out there with the rig," and that was freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, but-
Yeah, got back to camp here, and she they trailed us probably by about what, half an hour, 40 minutes,
Yep.
and all of a sudden, hearing two rigs come screaming up the road, and she comes whipping into camp. Things covered in mud. And,
She wasn't
man,
easy on
I'm
it either,
definitely.
man.
She had a
I
big
think
smile
I-
on her face. That's
yeah,
Yeah.
big old smile on her face. I think I might be out the door now. She's
Yeah,
all
don't
squared
need you.
away.
I don't need you anymore.
She didn't lose the Wheel and Wine and Whiskey koozie on
No,
the side
no.
either.
The
That thing
koozie
was
was all-
covered in mud. I got a photo of it too, and
Oh,
I'll
you gotta get that
post
to us.
it.
We'll see that on the ground.
Yeah, there it is,
Yeah.
all muddy. That's the
Yeah,
that's,
that's
the
the
ultra
mega-
mega koozie
That's
that
right.
stuck to the side through the mud bog. That's
Through
pretty
a-
I think they even tow with that.
Yeah,
thing
we
on there.
those koozies stay on the side. It's for anybody who needs.
So
to
they
keep
go
their
down the
beverage
highway
cool.
on the
Yeah,
your
rig.
they never leave the side of the rig. They're
It
on the
really
high
doubles as a mud flap, doesn't it?
It did
tent
kinda-
puller.
So you can get
all
your
kinds of
own. You
stuff.
can get your own koozie at www.
You could line your fender well with those things, I
That's
think.
good.
And
Yeah,
Well,
so
that's impressive.
they made it all the way out to Sand Hollow and back.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you left them on the rig. I mean, I saw them on there, but I didn't know you left them on.
Wow.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah, we put them
We
on the
need to
black.
start doing that.
We
Hell
put them on the
yeah.
black rig, and Black
I don't know.
Betty.
I don't have
They
enough
made it-
metal. Well, I guess I got the tube on the buggy. My fenders on the Jeep got a lot of Bondo and stuff in the front. So
Bondo?
No, I take that back. The fenders are the only thing that doesn't have Bondo. The tub has Bondo.
Well, if you actually had a real truck, had a Dodge, you'd have some metal to stick to.
I was
put 'em
gonna
on there.
say with it towing with the using a Dodge to tow it, so you're not getting over 55 miles an hour. So that's not very fast for them to blow off. so.
Wow.
That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't gonna say it. But since you just said that, game on.
Wow.
wait, we keep mentioning
Touche.
Dodge, but it's really Ram, right?
It is. Well, his is a Dodge.
His is a Dodge.
His is a Dodge.
It's a true
Mine's
Dodge.
a Ram.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris has a Ram.
Mine's the first
Dodge.
year of the Rams. We have another. Well, there's 3 Dodges in camp and one Ford.
You know what the old saying?
Oh, wait, and a
get out of
Chevy.
Dodge.
Yeah, we
Why do
got
they
a
say get out of
Suburban.
Dodge? Because you're gonna get in a Ford.
Nice. So that's a great little marketing thing for the mega ultra mega koozie. And I was saying, if you want to get your own ultra mega koozie, go to wheelingwineandwhiskey.com.
Oh, is this the advertising segment of the
click
the
on
podcast?
click on the
Nice
merch
pivot,
tab,
Chris.
and you can pick up your own ultra mega koozie and any other merch that you wish.
Don't
to
forget
have.
about the website sale that's going on right
the
now. Build a
website
bundle.
sale. Build a bundle. That's
At
right.
Dirtbag.
Build a bundle.
Yes.
By Dirtbag Johnny. This is just a quick marketing thing. We're going to continue this podcast, but I mean, But I just wanted to jump in there and say, yeah, I mean,
Got to pay the bills, right?
Got to pay the bills.
Gotta pay the
Jason
bills.
needs fuel for his truck. The Illumiduty.
So, yes, I do. At what did Kelly pay today? $5.85 a gallon.
Holy
gosh.
shit!
That was
Really?
just 87.
87? What?
California.
How many gallons?
Well, this is
gallons of fuel.
Did you-
This
You
is
said you just wanted to splash.
Did you
the
take,
last
did you need to take out
gas
a loan?
station on Highway 4.
Right.
Well, that'd give me a week in the Samurai.
Yeah, see?
Wow.
No, anyways, yeah, visit our website because there is some holiday bundles here coming up
right.
for the holidays, and if you get your orders in quick, Johnny will get them to you before Christmas Day.
So they can be under the tree.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And so there's an option on there now so that you can kind of build a bundle. And if you have any questions or you don't see what you want, call Johnny. He'd
Or
be
text
happy to
him
hear
or
from you.
email him. Yeah.
Yeah, his all the info's there. When you go on to wheelingwineandwhiskey.com and you click merchandise, then it goes to the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey section of the Dirtbag page of clothing. And you can even bundle if you want a Dirtbag shirt and a Wheeling Wine and Whiskey hat. You can do that too. So you don't have to have all Wheeling Wine and Whiskey swag. You could bundle it up with some Dirtbag swag too.
That's right. Absolutely.
But
the
definitely
big,
get yourself
zip.
a koozie
Get the
because
big zip.
the koozie's been a big hit. Yeah, the big zip is awesome. The big zip sweatshirt. I need one of those. Rhonda has
Johnny let me borrow that at Trek because I was getting cold, and that big zip is amazing.
It is
so
amazing.
Definitely recommended.
one. It's totally unique. It's a huge zipper, plastic zipper, and it works great.
It looks like something out of a cartoon or something.
Yeah, and everybody, it's a great conversation starter.
Absolutely.
So there you go. Well, there's the advertising portion.
And
Now back to our
I mean,
regularly
it
scheduled
is the
program.
cooler part of the year. So getting a beanie, getting a sweater or a sweatshirt or a hoodie, whatever. I mean, we have both the zip up and the pullover hoodies. Yeah, absolutely. Just definitely check it out and hopefully you find something you like and buy it.
There you go.
So what else?
What else? Well, I don't know. That kind of wrapped up. We're back here. Then that takes us right back to the campfire and
sun
sitting
is
around and recording a podcast. And we're gonna.
Sun is starting to set.
Oh yeah,
it's getting cool.
It's definitely down a few more degrees since we started, and it's we got about another hour here, and then she's gonna drop big time.
Yep, exactly.
Down into
We'll have to get
the
this fire
30s and
ripping.
20s. I just walked into my camper before the podcast, and the thermostat said 41.
Ooh, baby.
So
I'm shivering.
dropping quick.
yeah, she's dropping quick out here, but it's good. It's beautiful. I love it. Crystal clear sky. We had killer moon last
Great
night. And
moon last
the stars. I mean, even with the full moon, I mean, the stars were just like right there.
Jets flying over.
Yeah, chemtrails getting dropped on us.
Oh, yeah.
What did you say about the thing?
No, it was nice. It was it looked
It was
like,
well illuminated.
It was well
Well
illuminated.
illuminated.
I mean, it
looked cool.
You were closer
It did
to
look
it than
cool.
you would be at sea
Well, we're
level,
7,000
right?
feet closer to them.
Yeah, you're 7,000 feet closer to it.
So anyway,
So yeah, we're gonna get the barbecues going and
Make some
got some
dinner.
steaks. We got some
roll
chili,
into the evening.
and yeah, I got some more LaCroix and actually,
wait a minute.
hot
So
chocolate.
Let me turn you on to a Pellegrino.
So-
Pellegrino.
To our
that.
faithful listeners, I just want you to know that Jason's drinking non-alcoholic beverages out of an ultra mega koozie.
out of an ultra mega koozie.
So
with my
a
pinky
podcast
partially
that's a
out.
drinking show. Well, he does have his pinky out.
Yeah, his pinky was up.
Hey,
I
but
just
I'm
saw
holding
it.
up the wheeling portion of the show.
Well,
The
there you
wheeling.
go.
So
There you go.
I'm the wheeling. You're the wine and the whiskey right now.
I'm holding up my end of the
Yin and
deal.
yang.
We got you covered over here.
Peanut butter
Yeah.
and jelly,
PB&J.
We're
All
good.
right.
salt and pepper.
Salt.
If
butter
only
and
we had
toast.
some more pepper.
If we had
this
pepper on the
afternoon.
trail today, that
on
would
the
have
trail
been great.
today.
How about mud and wheeling?
Mud in your eye.
Hey, so you saw that Pretty Pennies for sale?
I did.
85,000.
Did you buy it?
That's
that seems like
cheap.
a bargain,
That
doesn't
seems
it?
kind of. It seems kind of cheap for what you're paying for vehicles today.
Rodney, did you buy it?
No, but did you see him trying to roll that tire over to it?
Yep.
No.
It was full of lead,
It's because it's lead.
full of lead, and you couldn't even pivot that thing.
Right.
Chris,
Really?
you would have not been a happy camper trying to put that down.
No.
I'm a grumpy old man.
Yeah.
Chris, it might be time to upgrade, you know.
But that's
crotchety, I think.
I'm curious to see who. Somebody's going to buy that for $85.
Oh, hell yes.
So who's going to buy it?
Why don't we all go in?
No, I mean,
why don't we have a Wheeling Wine and Whiskey patron moon buggy account?
That would be great.
A GoFundMe?
A GoFundMe.
The only thing
you could cash in that jet, you know?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Well, Lorenzo might have just bought it.
you gotta
Lorenzo's
keep the jet.
not here. We don't know what Lorenzo's doing
I'll
right
tell you,
now.
though, I mean, as cool as that thing is, I mean, the practicality is, I mean, you go out and play, and, Sand Hollow would be epic, and, but you would be bored on Rubicon or any of the other trails, and it's a single-seater. You're not.
I don't know. I wouldn't be bored
purpose-built.
not fixing stuff on
Well,
my
then
rig.
that's my buggy.
You still got to fix
Right?
it, dude. I mean, shit still breaks.
Yeah, there's maintenance and everything involved, but
Yeah.
But
You know.
that's
That thing
why I
would be
just
wicked
go
at
back
Sand
to-
Hollow.
Yeah, it would be great.
but he's getting another one built.
Well,
correct?
assuming,
right?
obviously.
You just
Something's
roll
going on.
that
Because
into the other.
Pretty Penny wasn't a winner.
But then
No,
Jacob
it's-
Reeves' new car
Things are stepping up.
for $80K. They had both of them sitting there on that IG post for $80K, and I texted or DM'd Jacob, and I go, dude, what's going on? He goes, what do you mean? And I go, well, there's for sale, and then just nothing. I got crickets. So I don't know what's going on in that camp, man. There's some stirring.
They're going electric.
And then you've got, all part of that Laser Nut racing crowd. You got Kevin and Caitlin, that are getting their new, and they were at the Laser Nut factory. So, I wonder what's cooking behind the scenes there. I don't know. I'm just hyping.
Dude, they're going electric, hybrid.
Hypothetical.
Something's.
You think so?
I think so.
Oh, I don't know.
Dude,
about
I've been talking to you guys about electric all weekend.
You heard it here on Wheeling Wine and Whiskey first. My prediction
I'm
is
telling
that
you, the
next
Mach
Pretty Penny's going to be a
EGT
hybrid.
is the chassis right now for like street vehicles.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. We'll see.
if you want to do it for 250 miles, I think you're going to enjoy yourself not putting fuel in the tank.
Yeah, well, if that battery technology, and it's catching up quickly, if it gets there where you could go out on the trails and
I don't know. I was right behind a Corvette at 122 miles an hour.
We're going to cut that out of the show because you just
That's
incriminated yourself.
122 miles an hour. Oh, that was in Mexico.
The Mach
You're talking about
and-
Mexico.
Yeah, I'm talking
when you
about
were down in Mexico driving
wink,
the Mach E.
wink, yes.
You were on the Autobahn. You were in Germany.
No, I was in the corporal lane.
Going off the rails, baby. All right. Anybody else have anything else to add?
Well, I am looking forward to KOH. That's going to be the next big event here.
Yes, sir.
And, looks like COVID restrictions are going to be out the window, so that'll be good.
Yes, sir.
Won't have to get a test going in. I don't know. I'm just, again,
I just love
talking.
shoving a swab up my nose.
Don't
What
know
are you
for
talking
sure,
about?
but that's my instinct, my gun instinct, is they're not going to have to require all that stuff this year. Everybody's pushing hard to get their cars and everything ready.
That's right.
Hashtag KOH prep.
Let's go, Jones.
Yeah, get Jonesy out there. We gotta see his new car. And
He's beyond prep, though.
and-
He's in build mode.
he is in build mode. You're right. He is in full
I
build
DM
mode.
him. I'm like, dude, give me a weekend, long weekend. I can come down and I'll sweep the floor, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll just help out.
Keep his beer, fresh beer, or whatever
He's
he needs.
he's got a
keep him
full
going.
fresh beer fridge right in his shop.
Yeah.
man. I mean, it's
Well,
pretty
any
sweet.
good shop does.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
But
Mine's the sticker fridge.
the other thing there was Bailey Cole looking for a co-driver.
I saw
and he had
that.
the survey go out. Lorenzo may or may not have filled out the survey.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm just saying. I did. And he did put on there that his navigational skills with the Lowrance is limited with his hooves. So,
I have a feeling that if Lorenzo was the right seat in his car, that there would be bad things happening.
it probably wouldn't end up well, would it?
It might involve flames.
Or multiple stops in Mexico.
So
You boys like Mexico?
Baja 1000's going on this weekend right now.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the results from that, and when we get back into communication, and then it's KOH. We're already starting to plan. Camp is coming together, and I am excited for KOH 2022.
I am too. It's gonna be bitching
as these stories start to unfold of everybody new rigs and course changes. USAC coming in now. I mean, it's gonna be cool.
We'll have a whole episode dedicated to that conversation at some point in the near future.
Oh, for sure, sure. All right. Well, anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
No?
Lady Samurai, great job today. Slaying the Corral Hollow Trail there, and you drove Slick Rock too, the first section of Slick Rock. So it's too bad we didn't get to go through the whole trail. Thanks, CJ. But anyways, that's great. He's that guy.
He just got thrown under the bus.
It happens. Nobody got hurt. No blood. No. Actually, there was blood today. I did get bleeding in a couple spots on my hand.
Eddie cut the tip of his finger off with his hatchet.
Oh, jeez, that's not good.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. Well,
anyway.
All right, and before we wrap up, Chris, we got to say a very happy Thanksgiving to all our listeners out there in podcast land.
Yes.
Can't believe it's Thanksgiving 2021. How about that? Where'd this year go?
It's just funny how it seems like the older we get, the faster time goes. Remember when you were a kid and it was like Thanksgiving and then
take forever.
When's Christmas going to get here? Oh, it's forever away. Now you're an adult. It's like, damn, it was just Christmas.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But anyway, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
There you go. All right. Have a great one.
We're out.